The government has decided that they are going to be banning social media for children as young as 16 years of age. So the Australian government that is all set to introduce the world's first legislation to ban children under 16 from using social media, something that Prime Minister Albanese has been talking about for a very long time now, has now said that the proposed laws are likely to be tabled as soon as next week. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said that they will be tabling this in the Parliament, where the aim is at mitigating the harm that social media was inflicting on Australian children. He's gone on to say this one is for the mums and dads. He went on to talk about, like himself, because they are worried sick about the safety of their kids online. I want Australian families to know that the government has your back, is what Anthony Albanese, the Prime Minister, had to say.
Social media is doing harm to our kids, and I'm calling time on it. I've spoken to thousands of parents, grandparents, aunties and uncles. They, like me, are worried sick about the safety of our kids online. And I want Australian parents and families to know that the government has your back. I want parents to be able to say, sorry mate, it's against the law for me to get you to do this. Now, government's proposed age is 16. That decision was made in Cabinet on Monday.
Well, it is Anthony Albanese who's gone on to say that he doesn't want his vulnerable 14-year-old to be on social media. He's gone on to say that things keep popping up on my system that I don't really want my vulnerable 14-year-old to see, and which is why he's taken this decision, speaking about how there would be no, as far as the implementation is concerned, from what we're hearing is that this would come into force 12 months after it passes, and it'll be subject to a review after it's in place. Now, there will be no exemption on the age limit for children who have consent from their parents, but the government says that the onus will be on social media platforms to show that they are taking reasonable steps to prevent access. And to get more on this, we have Dr. Deepak Raheja, who is joining us. Dr. Deepak Raheja is the Director and Chief Psychiatrist at Hope Care India. Thank you so much, Dr. Raheja, for speaking with us. First, let's just establish how addictive is social media, especially for the younger generations, and take us through the harms for the mental health of adolescents.
See, there have been enough studies by now that when youngsters and adolescents are exposed to social media without regulation, there is increased incidence of anxiety, there's increased incidence of depression, of dysthymia, of a daunt to self-esteem and self-worth, leading them vulnerable to growing up as adults who are not really equipped to challenge to deal with the challenges of the real world. So, the blur between the real and the real is real, and the real is difficult for adults, but let alone for youngsters who are not mature enough and who are going through formative processes in their thinking. And when they are exposed to material that they are not able to process and handle, it leads them to sometimes a fractured understanding of the world, leads them vulnerable to abuse, to bullying, cyberbullying, dealing with cognitive spaces where they don't have supervision and the strength and the clarity to reach out to adults in real life to deal with those challenges. So I think at very younger ages, leaving a youngster with a instrument which is unregulated can be harmful, and there's enough debate that's happened on that, and I think we do agree by now that this is a very sensitive issue. And but if really a ban is an answer, I would have doubts on that, and we'll second bet on that. But yes, the regulation, the design, the liaison and the understanding between the parents, the schools, the society per se, in ensuring a safe space for youngster is, I think, very, very important. And this is what probably drives this ban. I mean, whether right or wrong is a matter of debate, but surely this is what drives this ban in Australia that we hear about.
Right, Doctor, frequent use of social media can be associated with distinct changes in the developing brain.
Yes, and because like I said, even though it gives the youngsters an expression to be themselves, and a lot of people and a lot of analysts have gone deeper to understand that sometimes these fake accounts that youngsters make are the real emerging personality of that youngster. But that needs to be governed, that needs to be meandered, that needs to be molded. And if it's not done, I mean, this is a very sometimes a dark, unregulated space, and an immature mind can delve into spaces which are not right for them to be able to process and to discard as not being the right spaces to be in, and that can lead to then feeling feeling a state of vacuum, not being able to talk, not being able to express themselves to an adult with no supervision. Obviously leads to, like many psychiatric morbidities, and a flagging in academic grades, and deterioration. Right. Also, what's very important, which continues to then affect the major portion of the life, is a sense of self-worth, which is very important in those formative years to grow up and consolidate and be formidable.
That they seem to get through likes on social media, filters that are used to enhance the way a person looks on social media, and people tend to compare their lives with, say, people who are constantly posting on social media. Thank you so much, Dr. Raheja, for speaking to us today.